It's all about a tick box in terms of ensuring that we tick, but not understand the repercussion of the total act and how the actual act itself aligns to all the different security regulations that we need to make sure that are there. And people are starting to talk about the technology without actually even understanding and unpacking what the technology means.
The biggest problem, though, is I think it's just early days still, and I don't think we should beat ourselves up about it, because exactly the same thing happened in Europe a few years back, where their information regulators were not forthcoming and very clear about what constituted reasonableness in their view. And over time, the picture started to get clearer. And I think we'll see something similar happen with POPIA. Hopefully we can speed that up and fast track that a bit better than they did in Europe.
Most people have been jumping through the POPIA hoops by sending out consent forms and getting all these kind of things done, etc. I think that this looming deadline is driving people to the next cycle where we're getting into some of the nuts and bolts as to how do we look after the data. Practically securing it is a problem, and then writing a law that makes sense to try and tell people to do better conflicts with that.
The data remains our responsibility regardless of where it is stored and who we have contracted as a third party to assist us in this issue of storing data and protecting data and ensuring data. So I think when we do that as organizations, everything we do, we must understand that we remain accountable.
How do we ensure that we look after, whether it's our customers or people in the organizations in the supply chain's data, as their assets, as it were, and their information, like we would normally do from any kind of moral or reputational aspect? Then I think, if organizations look to work with it in that regard, I think it should make things simpler. But that's notwithstanding that there's quite a lot of work to be done in organizations.
It's always the biggest challenge, but once you're past it, I think the rest then fall into place. I think that's probably the thing that a lot of people get stuck on, just classifying the data.
One of the things I've definitely found is you're going to have to, if you're a large multinational company, use a risk-based approach. And that's where data classification is very, very important. So you're obviously going to target your most sensitive information. And I think people know in their minds more or less where it is. But having a data matrix of where your assets and your servers are and what data is on them and how sensitive is a very important starting point. Because there are so many moving parts in this, that if you don't have a proper strategy and operating model, you're likely to get lost in the detail.
So once the organization, executive and the board, or the bigger shareholders adopt a data strategy, then the implementation, remember a data strategy will also highlight the risk, lack of resources, limited budget, all of that. Just come up with a data strategy that will enhance and also ensure that you are aligned with the legislative frameworks and the standards that are out there.